Picture this: a world engulfed in flames, millions of lives hanging in the balance, and the fate of humanity teetering on the edge. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster, it is the stark reality of World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history. It all began with one man's twisted vision. Adolf Hitler, a failed artist turned charismatic leader, rose to power in Germany with promises of restoring national pride and glory. But beneath his fiery speeches lurked a sinister agenda that would plunge the world into chaos. On September 1, 1939, Hitler's forces stormed across the Polish border, unleashing a new kind of warfare, the blitzkrieg. Lightning-fast tanks and planes overwhelmed Poland's defenses, leaving Europe stunned and terrified. The world held its breath, wondering who would be next. As Hitler's war machine rolled across Europe, a sleeping giant stirred on the other side of the world. On December 7, 1941, Japanese planes appeared in the skies over Pearl Harbor, raining down destruction on the unsuspecting American naval base. The attack shocked the United States out of its isolationism and into the heart of the conflict. But even as the Axis powers seemed unstoppable, the tide of war was about to turn. In the frozen streets of Stalingrad, Soviet soldiers fought tooth and nail against Hitler's invading army. The battle became a brutal war of attrition, with both sides suffering horrific losses. Yet, against all odds, the Soviets held on, dealing Hitler his first major defeat and shattering the myth of Nazi invincibility. As the war raged on, secret horror was unfolding behind enemy lines. The Holocaust, Hitler's systematic extermination of European Jews and other undesirables, claimed the lives of millions. Families were torn apart, entire communities wiped out, and the very fabric of humanity strained to its breaking point. But hope was on the horizon. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces launched the largest seaborne invasion in history, D-Day. Thousands of brave soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy, facing a hail of bullets to gain a foothold in Nazi-occupied Europe. Their sacrifice would pave the way for the liberation of Western Europe and the eventual downfall of Hitler's regime. As Allied forces closed in on Berlin from the west and Soviet troops advanced from the east, Hitler's thousand-year Reich crumbled in just 12 years. But the war was not over yet. In the Pacific, American forces island-hopped their way towards Japan, facing fanatical resistance every step of the way. Then, in August 1945, the world witnessed the dawn of a terrifying new age. 2 atomic bombs, dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, brought the war to a sudden and devastating end. The sheer destructive power of these weapons would cast a long shadow over the post-war world. When the dust settled, the scale of devastation was almost beyond comprehension. Over 60 million people had lost their lives. Entire cities lay in ruins. The map of Europe had been redrawn, and the balance of global power had shifted dramatically. From the ashes of conflict, a new world order emerged. The United Nations was founded with the lofty goal of preventing future wars. But even as people dreamed of lasting peace, new tensions were brewing. The United States and the Soviet Union, once allies against Nazi Germany, now eyed each other warily across an iron curtain. The Cold War had begun, ushering in decades of nuclear anxiety and proxy conflicts. World War II reshaped our planet in ways that continue to echo through time. It accelerated technological progress, from jet engines to computers. It redrew national boundaries and sparked independence movements across the globe. And it forced humanity to confront the depths of its own capacity for both cruelty and heroism. The stories of World War II of ordinary people thrust into extraordinary circumstances, of unimaginable sacrifice and unexpected compassion, continue to captivate us decades later. They remind us of the fragility of peace and the terrible cost of hatred and intolerance. As we look back on this pivotal moment in history, we're left with pressing questions. How did the world allow such devastation to unfold? What lessons can we learn to prevent future conflicts? And how do we honor the memory of those who lived through and died in humanity's darkest hour? These are questions we must continue to grapple with, for the echoes of World War II still reverberate in our modern world. From ongoing conflicts to the rise of extremist ideologies, the shadows of the past loom large. But there's hope too. The courage and resilience shown by those who lived through the war can inspire us to face our own challenges. The international cooperation that emerged in its aftermath shows us the power of nations working together for a common cause. As we close this chapter of history, I want to leave you with a challenge. How will you use the lessons of World War II to make a difference in your own life and community? What small steps can you take to promote understanding, combat hatred, and work towards a more peaceful world? If you found this journey through history as eye-opening and thought-provoking as I did, please consider hitting that like button and sharing this video with others. By spreading awareness of our shared past, we can help shape a better future. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. Together, we can ensure that the sacrifices of the World War II generation are never forgotten, and that their hard-won lessons continue to guide us forward. Until next time, remember, history isn't just about the past. It's a roadmap for our future.